As part of our business analysis in Microsoft Dynamics is concerned, we have discussed about the BA part. Even there were many session videos I have posted about BA Dynamics earlier. Today, our focus is on the business as well as interview scenarios for a business analyst in the Dynamics MS Microsoft Dynamics 365. Because when we are applying for opportunities as a BA in Dynamics, or when we are transforming our career into the field of the business analyst in Microsoft Dynamics, it's not only about knowing about the knowledge areas of BA. It's not only about knowing about the application, means Microsoft Dynamics application. What are the different fields we have, right? So it can be workflows, it can be fields, it can be data table, all that. It's important for us to understand about a couple of scenarios, because when we are projecting ourselves as a experienced business analyst in Microsoft Dynamics, we have to understand the different scenarios, or what are the different business problems that we come across as a BA, how you have resolved it. Okay, this is something which is useful to have a practical scenario based learning as a BA in Dynamics, Microsoft Dynamics. At the same time, when we go for an interview, these are all will be helpful. This is important even because if the people wants to test whether you are experienced professional or not, this is how generally scenario based questions people will ask, so that we have to answer accordingly. So hence, in this regard, I have taken one of the scenario for Dynamics 365 for sales CRM, because we have couple of CRMs because we have even we have customer service, right? So we have even operations and all. So one of the scenario I have taken for sales CRM. Scenario for lead to opportunity conversion means whatever the business lead that we have received, and how are we converting into opportunity. Okay, this is the scenario I have taken. So the business case as follows. Here we can see there is a business case I have taken. Let's say customer who are into the sales side. Let's say that an organization using Microsoft Dynamics, they have a sales team. Sales team wants to track the leads from marketing campaign and as well as convert those into qualified ones into the opportunity. This is the scene, because sales teams always job is to track the leads based upon the marketing campaign they did, or any kind of promotional or branding campaign they do. Whatever the leads they have received, you can relate this example to any organization, any domain, right? Either it can be banking, it can be healthcare, it can be logistics, it can be retail, it can be insurance, right? So any domain I can refer. Any sales team, their job is to track the leads from the marketing campaign and all, and they want to convert into a qualified lead generation so that they can get business out of it. So they want to create this an opportunity. So this is the business case. For example, any customer come to you, this is the business problem we have, right? So how, as a BA, you have resolved. Okay, this is something as a BA you need to know. So first we need to know what are the business analyst tasks that we need to perform. First of all, as a BA, it's always important for us to document the lead qualification criteria, because if you have taken any qualification, any document, any leads that you have generated or taken, those leads will have a qualification criteria, because different qualification criteria we generally categorize. Depends on the qualification criteria, we have to document all that. That is the first and foremost responsibility as a BA we have to do. So document templates available in the organization level, or else we can create our own templates to manage these documents. Documenting lead qualification criteria is one of the things. Second, once we have documented, we should focus on the configuration. Configuring according to the business rules and government mandates, because any organization, they have their own business rules. Those business rules are leading to the score rules. In business rules, generally we call it as score rules. In sales CRM, I am referring to. Configuration lead from the scoring rules point of view that we have to configure. Normally, configuration from the application point of view, if we are a technical business analyst, we have to address that, because some business roles you see functional BA, some business roles are completely towards technical business analyst roles. So when we are into the technical BA role, if for example, right, if you are representing ourselves as a technical BA in Microsoft Dynamics, where we are claiming that we had experience in Microsoft Dynamics application, we should be competent enough to perform the configuration. Either it can be data model configuration, it can be workflows, it can be filters to be configured, etc. In the same regard, so configuring the score rules. These score rules are comes under the business rules I am referring to, because every application will have a business rule, or it depends on the organization, business strategy, and all. These rules will vary. Okay, so it depends on the business rule. Under the business rules, core rules that we have to configure. That is the second thing. Next, we need to define the workflow. For what purpose? Because auto conversion is our major challenge as a customer, they stated, because sales team wants to track it and they want to convert into a qualified lead. So auto conversion of leads is the one of the criteria. For that, we have to create a workflow. To define the workflow, we have in Dynamics, we have an option to create a workflow that can be done. Apart from that, we have other outline open source tools, something like StarUML, Lucy Chats, Microsoft Visio. We have Enterprise Architect. Right? We have many other open source and as well as trial versions available, wherein we have to define the workflow first, because workflow will elevate you the uh, visual representation. Because if you want to explain this to the technical team as a BA, how this can be done, documenting, writing documents is one way of doing it. Or else you can prepare user stories when you follow user story, when you follow agile practices, all that. Next, other way is to define the workflow for auto conversation of leads. This is also some of the key and important thing we have to be focused more. Next, we need to create the dashboards. That is even important. Creating the dashboards, the showing the conversion rates also. Because creation of dashboards alone as a BA we don't do, because there are some admin roles and responsibilities are there in the organization. Because admin people configure the application according to our organization needs, etc. So we have to support admin team to create dashboards wherein to show some conversion rates, etc. All this. So these are the major. See, I'm not detailing you about requirements document. I'm not detailing you about UML diagrams. I'm not detailing you about user stories, all that. Because a learner, whoever is from the business analyst in Microsoft Dynamics BA or a general business analyst, will have experiencing in all that. So my major focus is not that, because if you have, okay, it's fine. If you don't have, then you have to learn that. That anyway that is needed. But from the particular scenario based, when we have a limited time, when we go for an interview, when you want to address ourselves and we want to be more effective towards explaining about a particular scenario, these are the tasks you have to explain. Now, anyone can ask, Raj, what kind of interview questions we come across? Okay, there can be many. Okay, because there is no specific these questions only. Nothing like that. If anybody says that, no, it is not true, right? So because depends on the job description that we receive, depends on the professional qualification or technical knowledge which client requires. Questions may vary. Okay, depends on the JD, it will vary. So there is no specific interview questions. Please be listen very clear, because there are no set of frequently asked questions kind of. There is no set of interview questions kind of. Nothing like that. So if there is anything for only for basic level, okay, but there is no standard way of it. Depends on the JD to JD, the questions will vary from, even though you belongs to Microsoft Dynamics, for one interview to one more interview, the questions may vary. So that nobody can give, not only me. Generally, it won't happen. If it, this is my experience, this is my observation. I may be wrong in some times. Okay, so one example I have taken, interview question example I have taken. For example, interview question, someone is asking you how would you capture lead qualification rules in Dynamic 365 days sales. For example, this is the question if someone is asking you. We have to answer that, right? So what answer should be given by you as a BA? We need to say that we have to use the business rules. So what kind of business rules? These business rules are something relating to the score rules. Business rules is a common word, but the kind of rule that we are defining is called score rules. That will be defining in the application. That is one thing. Second, we have to define the workflows. Whatever the workflows that we have and all, that we have defined it. At the same time, we have also focused more on the custom fields for qualification scores. So these are the three major aspects which can be addressed to capture the lead qualification in Microsoft Dynamics 365 days sales as a BA. Again, I'm repeating, you need to understand the business rules from the scoring rules point of view. Next, you need to define the workflows. At the same time, you need to custom fields for qualification scores based upon the scoring rules that we have defined. So this is how generally we have to answer when someone is asking us question, a particular question. If someone is asking you, this is how it is. It can be many, but I've just taken one example. So this is how couple of scenarios you need to address. You need to learn couple of scenarios. Couple of scenarios understanding is always needed. That's how you need to train yourself. Then we have some positive result when we go for interview or when we want to have some live experience in this field and exposure in this field. This is always important. This sort of learning is important. It's not only just learning about Microsoft Dynamics application as LSBA, but multiple scenarios. Right? For example, Salesforce is one CRM example I have given. One more example, it can be customer service case management. One more example. Like that, we have one more example for finance and operations, Dynamics. Because Dynamics CRM have many modules, sales CRM, marketing, right? So different sales customer support, right? We have different modules we have. So this is how generally we have to learn.